I would say, obviously Tony and Michael, you guys are amazing, but I would say some folks probably come into the store to see you.
Yeah, we've had a few. We have a few customers that make that.
Yes, a couple of fans.
The views and opinions expressed by our guests are their own and do not reflect the views, positions, or endorsements of the Skittle Squad Podcast or its hosts.
Welcome to the Skittle Squad Podcast. We're glad you're here watching and listening today. My name is David Smith, and I'm here with my fantastic co-host.
I'm Paul Pfeiffer.
Hey, Paul. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So as we were walking into the studio today, I noticed you have a new T-shirt on.
I do.
And I feel like it potentially could be a little bit controversial.
Well, I don't think it's controversial at all. So here's the thing. So I feel with Cracker Barrel, like rebranding, I feel like I should rebrand and not be Muffin Top anymore and be Stud Muffin now.
There we go. Stud Muffin.
Yeah,
That's your T-shirt.
So that's my new brand. I'm a Stud Muffin.
You know what? I think what we should do is I will apologize for calling you a Muffin Top, and I think we should call a truce, and you will be now known as the Stud Muffin.
Okay. I'm good with that.
All right.
Yeah. I still want a crown, though. And a wand.
Okay. Well, for sure the crown. We're going to maybe work on the wand.
Okay.
But yeah, for sure the crown.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that is so funny. If you've been watching our previous episodes, you do know that the Muffin Top has been very controversial.
It goes from episode to episode to episode.
It keeps going on and on and on. So maybe we've called a truce. Maybe we're done chatting about that now. But anyway, that's really great. I love your T-shirt. So it was so interesting. Yesterday, I was hanging out with a couple friends, and one of them was telling me about how they were all hanging out kind of unexpectedly at the mall. This person, my friend, he's, older, 60s, and then all the people he was hanging out with were like 20s. And his observation to me was that it's so hard from a social component, like getting them to like kind of engage in conversation and be like social together. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of interesting. He had that observation. And then later in the day, we were actually at cocktail, we were dancing, and this woman comes over to us and she says, "Can you believe that none of these young people, like they don't even know how to dance? Like they're just literally stuck to their phones." And we look up and we're like, yeah, like we were kind of the only ones like dancing at the time. And then we kind of got everyone onto the dance floor and kind of got them dancing. But what do you think? It feels like the 20 years old, the Gen Z, millennials, like I feel like, especially the Gen Z generation, they really are struggling with that social component. They all went through pandemic. Sometimes I just feel like they're so kind of closed off and just connected to their phone. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I think, it's different than when you and I grew up, when we didn't have internet, we didn't have cell phones, so we were forced to be social and develop social skills. Yeah. And I think now in today's generation, they don't have to worry about that because everyone is connected via cell phone and so on and so forth. So it's not surprising that you're telling me that because
it's a little bit, I guess I feel a little disappointed and like worried for them almost. Like, I don't know, maybe
because how are they going to succeed like in the business world, for example, where you have to be social, you have to have presentation skills, you have to, be able to network with, folks within the organization. Like, how are they going to be able to manage that? Right. If they don't have those skills.
Right. Yeah, I know. I was chatting with a friend of mine. She's a manager, and she actually told me that when she was interviewing someone that had recently graduated from college, they had their parent with them on the interview. So, not that that's probably an extreme situation or example.
I read something like that. There was an article that came up in my Facebook feed, and it was a bunch of percentages around how many Gen Z folks had brought their parents to interviews.
Wow.
And it was like actually quite high. Okay. And I was like, really? Because I would never even think of bringing anybody to a job interview. I feel like our generation was just a lot more
independent.
Yeah.
Yeah, more independent. I remember growing up, we would play kickball with all the neighbor families, and there would be like 30 of us out and just having fun and socializing. And I just feel like now that just does not happen as much.
Yeah.
No.
So, I mean, I feel old now talking about that, but yeah, but it is true. I mean, it's a totally different generation. And, the funny thing is when you're growing up, you're like, oh, I'm never going to be like that, or I'm never going to, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
My mom, when I was growing up, would always listen to music from her generation. And I'm like, okay, when I get older, I'm not going to be like that at all. I'm going to listen to all the current stuff and up to date with everything from a music perspective. And now what do I listen to? Everything from my generation. So,
I mean, that includes the 70s and 80s music, right?
Yes,
Which I
yes.
just absolutely love the 70s and the 80s for
yeah.
music. Yeah, for sure. Well, COVID really did kind of change the course of social development. It really changed our activities. I mean, everyone does so much more shopping online now.
Yeah.
There's Instacart. I mean, really, with all the delivery services, if you want, you really don't need to leave your house for anything. Yeah, which is a good thing for convenience. And then it's, I think, from a social perspective, a bad thing.
I feel like I'm an expert in this field because, I do DoorDash all the time and I do order from Amazon quite a bit. But I think it is important to also support those local businesses as well. You need to get out of your comfort zone of being in your house all the time.
Right.
And being able to shop local, helps. Not necessarily, donating bucks to the big box stores like, Target and Walmart and so on and so forth, but being able to support those local businesses, I think is extremely important.
Yeah, Tony and Jordan from Atlas will be on in just a few minutes, and we're going to talk to them about the importance of shopping local.
Yeah.
It really can make a huge impact on the community. And so excited to chat with them in just a couple of minutes about that. Yeah, COVID really did change everything. When we think about working remote, I know prior to COVID, I would say the majority of folks did go into an office.
Yeah, I mean, my situation was a little bit different in that we were not required to be in the office 5 days a week.
Oh, okay.
It was always, 3 days and then 2 days of your choosing.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So we had always had the hybrid type model.
Right.
And then when COVID hit, no one was going into the office. Like you were 100% remote. And then slowly we're only required 2 days a week.
Okay.
Now, not 3.
Right.
And that's simply because we don't have the space.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah.
To accommodate people being in 3 days a week. So I'm used to it. And, the only downside I think to it is, you miss that human interaction.
Right. If you're working
from home.
Yeah.
And I feel like I work more hours if I'm remote.
Okay.
Versus if I'm in the actual office.
Well, there's so much controversy about that. I mean, if you're a remote worker, are you working more hours? Are you working less? And honestly, I think it's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
I think some people are working very minimal. And I think some people, like you said, are working way more than 40 hours a week.
Yeah. Well, companies now have software installed where they can track how long you're logged in.
Yeah, I'm sure they can track your keystrokes,
and they can track your keystrokes,
websites
what
visited,
programs you're spending time in, so on and so forth. And that is the case in my employer. So we have to be, we can't get away with that where I work because they're tracking all that, and there's actually a report that gets sent to your manager that kind of shows
your productivity,
shows from a team perspective what the productivity is, what websites have been accessed, what programs are being used, so on and so forth. So I think, it's kind of a double-edged sword. In a way you kind of feel like we're all adults. Do we need to be babysat like that?
Right.
But then I can also see the point of, there are going to be people that take advantage.
Yeah, for
that,
sure. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, there are those folks that are very lenient with the work from home, and then they'll dial into a meeting and they're going through the car wash, or they're like waiting for their car to get their oil changed. So I don't know. I'm very old school. My work ethic is pretty much, I don't know, like very like traditional. Like I log in at 8 o'clock. I log off at 5 o'clock. I work, 40 hours a week. I don't go out to pick up lunch. I don't go out to run errands. I'm in front of my computer the entire work time.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more flexible when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
But my role, as you know, is a little bit different. So my role is global.
Right.
So that requires
Your hours
me,
are all over the place.
Yeah, so my hours are all over the place because if I have to talk to Asia,
Right.
obviously I've got to be up like super early in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I'll accommodate that by, maybe I'll log off around 3 o'clock or 3:30 or, so on and so forth. Or, if I have a doctor appointment, maybe I'll put in some hours over the weekend.
Right.
Type thing. So my hours are a little bit more flexible than that. I'm not
That's
as
nice.
rigid as that. So, as long as you have the total amount of time of login hours
Right.
that you need and
Yeah.
you're showing that you're actually productive and that you're actually working
Right.
per the reports, then you're good. It doesn't matter what the hours are.
So when you go into the office, are you actually seeing folks that are on your team?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
I know
Tampa is one of the main hubs
Okay.
of the organization that I work for. So I think there's 10,000
Oh, wow.
employees in the Tampa location. So yes, a lot of us are located in Tampa.
Okay. I have to travel to go to headquarters for my company, and I will say that typically seeing folks in person, I do feel like you do have some productivity spikes because you're walking, next to them down the hall, or you see them like coming into or out of a meeting, and it's like, oh, hey, by the way. And I do think there are, definitely some advantages, but I know that there are friends of mine that work remote and they go into the office and no one's there from their team.
Right.
It's people from that company, but it's like they might as well just be at home.
Right.
So, yeah.
And that's the way it used to be for me because my manager used to be based out of London.
Oh, okay.
So when I was reporting to her, being in the office wasn't as important as it is now with my manager being in Tampa. So now it's good to be in the office and have that face-to-face time directly with your manager.
Yeah, that's nice.
Because, you can talk about ad hoc things easier when you're in the office face-to-face than if you're trying to hop on a Zoom call,
Right.
with packed schedules. And
Will you get
everything
that
else.
message from your coworker that just says hi and you're like, oh no.
I hate that. Oh my God. Yes. I get that all the time. And it's usually people that I don't like because of the role that I'm in.
Right.
I'll get those type of IMs.
Okay.
Just
Often.
from random people. And I'm like, who the hell is this? I'm like, and what do you want? Like,
Right. It's like, oh no, what's going to happen now?
Yeah,
for sure.
Or you're focusing on something and you have a deadline and you're trying to get something done.
Right.
And you have a coworker who is like a friendly coworker.
Right. A chatting.
Want a personal chat.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't have the time for this right now.
Right.
Like,
So would you prefer that someone just sends you a random hi, or you would probably prefer an email that they
I would
write
prefer
to
an
you?
email.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey,
Because
introduction. What do you need?
Yeah. Because then you can outline exactly what you need.
Right.
But for those of you that do use instant messaging at work, don't just do hi. Like put hello, I'm contacting you about XYZ,
Right.
da-da-da-da. Because otherwise I'm like, who is this?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Well, I'm really excited. I want everyone to kind of stay tuned here because we do have Tony and Jordan from Atlas, Home and Body coming on, and we are going to do a fun new game.
We are.
It's going to be hot or not.
Hot
and
or
so
not.
we are going to play a little game with them, and we will then see some fits from Jordan. And Atlas has an amazing variety of different brands. And
They
so
absolutely do.
we'll see some of those and talk about them. So really excited. So everyone just stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment.
Next week on the Skittle Squad Podcast, Fondy and Carrington. Like, follow, and subscribe to the Skittle Squad Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and all social media platforms.
Welcome back. We're excited to introduce our guests from Atlas Body and Home today, Tony and Jordan. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having us.
So happy to have you guys on the show. You're such a staple of the community. So if you could maybe each give a quick introduction of who you are and what you're doing.
My name is Tony Leffler. My husband, Michael Griffin, and I own Atlas Body and Home. We're about 6.5 years old right now, and we're just so happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Welcome. And Jordan.
Yeah, my name's Jordan Dino. I'm the right-hand man to Michael and Tony over at Atlas Body and Home. I've been with them for almost 3 years-ish, so halfway through their journey, and it's been so much fun.
Yeah, I will share that, I go into your store often, and it's just the most welcoming store. It's always an amazing experience. I always love everything you're carrying there and always leave very, very happy.
Yeah, thank you.
So anyway, that's just going to be my little call out about how much I love you guys and your store. It's interesting because, Tony, you and Michael own the store, and then Jordan, you work there, and there's a lot of different things we can chat about. But Tony, for you, you and Michael have a pretty creative background. We chatted about your background in interiors, photo design, events. And so what kind of inspired you and Michael to kind of take the leap into the menswear with Atlas?
We kind of honestly filled a niche that we thought was missing. We moved to St. Pete. We were still continuing our design career. We saw some clients in Portland, and we full-heartedly thought we were going to continue that journey in St. Pete. And we went shopping one day and realized there literally was nothing to buy for guys our age and kind of our style.
Right.
And if you're like a 16-year-old kid or like a 60-year-old guy, you were set. And there was literally nothing in the middle. So chatted with some friends, kind of did a little day drinking at Green Bench. And there was a couple spaces on Central. And we literally just kind of put our creative thoughts together and did some research and found the space pretty quickly. And it just really snowballed from there. We've always had a retail component to everything that we've done. But apparel was a new gig for us. But we love to shop. We love fashion and clothing, and brought a bunch of brands from the West Coast that weren't represented here, and just kind of figured, it was just needed.
Yeah.
There's nothing in St. Pete like our shop.
I lived in Miami for 20 years before moving to Tampa Bay area, and so I was used to having all these amazing stores, these niche brands, things like that. And so when I came to St. Pete and found your store, I was just so happy because, like you said, it's a niche you're filling. And so you're not really finding a lot of other things like that out into the community, really.
For sure. We feel so, we love what we do. And I think that shows in our vibe of the shop. But we get people that come in from bigger cities that say that they wish there was a store like Atlas in New Orleans and Atlanta and different places where you would think that there would be a plethora of shops. But I feel like we have built a really interesting little niche in that industry.
Maybe franchise opportunities coming up.
If any investors are
Yeah, bring the money.
Hit me up.
Making a mental note.
I mean, people do ask for it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I could really see your type of shop really taking off in places like New Orleans and things like that. Yeah, Atlanta. I think, that would be awesome. So, Jordan, let's shift over to you for just a moment. Talk a little bit about your history in your career and then how you ended up with Tony and Michael at Atlas.
Oh, yeah. So once I graduated college, I was up in Minnesota, and it was COVID time. I was kind of finding myself starting to get into modeling a little bit and exploring that path. And I met a really good photographer that lives in St. Pete and offered me a role with his business to help him. And he sent me on a mission to go look for some clothes one day for the models and everything, being an assistant for him. And I got to stumble into Atlas, and my passion for just looking good and being a model myself, plus also how it could help his modeling business, kind of just was awesome. Running into the store, meeting Michael and Tony, and getting that.
You met Michael first, right?
Yes. Yeah. It was so much fun. It's just you talk about the vibe that you come into the shop and it feels so friendly and awesome. That's exactly was my experience. And it was so cohesive the way we kind of just walked, and I got to bring some ideas to them. And and then before I know it, I was working with them, and it's been such a fun past few years of growing with them, learning more about fashion, learning more about the business side of how to actually merchandise out a store. They have such a beautiful eye for understanding of how to do things. So it's went from kind of a modeling space into fashion. It just kind of all bled together.
Right. And I would say, obviously Tony and Michael, you guys are amazing, but I would say some folks probably come into the store to see you.
Yeah, we've had a few. We have a few customers that make that.
Yes, a couple of fans.
Yeah, they realized once we started opening up, because they didn't have Mondays open, because when it was just them, they needed a day off, right? Everybody needs a day off once in a while. But I said, hey, let me cover Mondays for you guys. You guys can open up 7 days a week. And then they said, well, we're not seeing some of our other customers anymore during the week. I think they're only coming in on Mondays. So it was good, though, that ended up allowing me to create really good relationships with our customers, because that ends up being the most important thing. You see a lot of familiar faces.
Right.
And so it's great that I had a lot of time to create that one-on-one interaction with them, and they get to have that with me. And yeah, it's been a very special part of working at Atlas and being a part of the community. I'm being on Central, all the faces and people that you get to become friends with through the shop.
Yeah, I can say, I love coming into the store because I'm sure I have many wares from both of you that you've selected for me. You have so much amazing merchandise there. And so sometimes that one piece, you don't see it. Just that happened to me a couple of days ago, Jordan. You picked out this blue shirt with this white trim that I absolutely adore. I loved it so much, but I just missed it in the shop. And so that's just one, again, of the special, I think, services that, people are offered when you come into the store. Tony... Oh, go ahead.
And one of the things you may not realize is when we were getting ready to launch the podcast and we had our promo shots done by Dylan, we wore Atlas clothes in our promo shots.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely a wonderful store. And one of the things I really like about the store is that, you can be any size and still shop there. So, even though I'm not a muffin top anymore and I've been promoted to stud muffin.
Officially stud muffin category.
You have clothes that fit, the bigger guys. And I really, truly admire that, because a lot of times you'll walk into a store and you can't find bigger sizes. So
we tried. And I feel like that maybe is a little bit of a misconception of Atlas on both ends of the spectrum. Because, if a brand does an extra small or does a double X, we carry that range of sizes. And sometimes there's a misconception that we're only for twinks, or, don't have smaller sizes, only have bigger sizes. But trends also kind of come and go as well. And some people are wearing more tight things. Some people are wearing baggier things. But we try to cover a pretty broad spectrum. And I feel like our age range of guys and size ranges of guys is all over the place. And it's great, because we try to have something for everyone. But at the same time, we're not everyone's shop either, I feel like we try to focus in on our customer and our vibe, and our role, I think, is to push people a little bit too. And we get to know guys so well that come in all the time and find something for you that you might not have, have seen, or maybe are unwilling to try on. And we're, work our ways a little bit and try to get guys to experiment a little bit too. That's the most fun part.
Jordan, you had mentioned that, people really should try to get out of their comfort zone and try on different clothes that maybe they don't think would fit their style and things like that, like you're saying, Tony. And so that is one fun thing that I've experienced going in is, you or Jordan will say, hey, just try this on. Just see how it looks.
Just try it.
You know what I mean? It might not be your style, might not be your groove. And 9 out of 10 times it's always really great. So that's great. We are going to actually see some fits from you in a few minutes. So we do want everyone to definitely stay tuned for that. Maybe we should take a little bit of a break and do our game. What do you think?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we should definitely do our game.
So Paul came up with a really fun idea along with Tony and Jordan. It's going to be a hot or not on fashion trends. And so we've got our paddles here. We've got not and we've got hot. So I will call out the trend and then we can vote.
Yeah.
So do you want to go ahead first, Paul?
So the first one on the list, Crocs.
Oh God. Yeah. Sometimes hot. Most
I
of the
would
time
say,
it's hot.
yeah,
That's just subjective
hard.
of who's wearing it.
It's so hard with, what are you saying, Paul? You're saying not?
I'm saying not.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna
stand
say
Crocs.
not. It's amazing to me they have their own store.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there must be a cult following, or I don't know. I mean,
I don't know who the company that did that, but the same people that made Stanley cups, the biggest thing, did that for Crocs.
Okay.
And it's turned into this, really young people too. They've
Right.
got those little sticker,
things that you
metal,
can attach.
whatever.
Oh,
those
that's right.
things,
They
and, like,
have all of
it's
those.
this
Yeah, you
whole
can
thing.
customize.
You can
them.
bedazzle
Yeah.
basically your croc.
Yeah.
It's become a thing, but there are some hot guys that wear Crocs, so
Yeah.
it's like a little bit of
It's like maybe
So
in
maybe-
between a little hot, but
maybe
mostly
98
not.
to 2%.
Mostly not.
So,
yeah. It's not a fashion statement, that's for sure.
not for fashion.
What do we think about cargo shorts?
See, this is the one I struggled on when I saw this on the list.
I'm gonna say not.
I'm gonna say not, Jordy.
I'm kind of on the spectrum.
You're on the
on the
fence?
fence a little bit with it. I'm gonna say mostly
Yeah.
not because the general person that you think of wearing the cargo
Right.
short, styling it doesn't
Yeah.
look good. Like oftentimes it just looks big and baggy, and the
They
clothes
just
they're wearing it's not
never
styled right.
Fit well. That's the problem.
I
with
call them
cargo
purse
shorts.
pants. Yeah.
There you go.
Does Rick wear cargo shorts?
Oh, of course. Like most of this
Okay.
list
Oh,
that I came up with
Uh-huh.
was me watching what my husband wears. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I would assume that most of these are going to be knots.
Well, hopefully he's watching. He'll be watching this episode and get a couple of hot tips.
Get a lot of hot fashion tips. Yep.
Cargo shorts are definitely coming back in style, to be fair, though. So there is a hotness to it. It's just, again, styling it out.
Well, I feel like I just bought a pair of shorts that was like cargo adjacent. It wasn't really like cargo shorts, but it had like big pockets. I don't
Yep.
know.
That's what
Maybe
you're
that
noticing.
style's coming back.
Very street style right
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
What do we think about socks and sandals?
God.
I'm gonna say,
Are we talking about flip flops or slides?
oh, see, that's so hard. I would say,
Or like Tevas and Birks and sandals. I
yeah,
don't know.
it can depend.
have-
I'm gonna do a 50-50.
Yeah, I'm like on
because
split down the
I
middle.
feel like it could be hot with the right sandals and then totally not with the wrong ones.
I'm going to say it can be hot, yes.
Yeah,
Got
it
flip
could
flop
be
on,
hot.
though. You're a psychopath wearing a sock.
Yeah, you can't wear. There's no excuse for socks and flip flops.
Talking, yeah.
weird at
Oh
that
my
point.
god. Well, yeah. Talking about footwear. What about Hey Dudes?
Oh God, Jordan knows this absolutely.
This is like the typical what guys wear at
I'm
my.
gonna say hot
hometown.
because
Okay.
they're comfortable. They're very
They look
comfortable.
like you're wearing a box of Kleenex on your feet.
I completely agree.
Silhouette on a person's foot.
It-
Ever.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
controversial, but never wear those.
Never thought of that before, but now that you mention it, yeah, it does.
You'll
kinda
never
look
think
like
of
that.
it another way.
Paul, what about another one?
So this was a big controversy when I got married. Pleated pants.
See,
I'm in the
we're
hot
gonna
section.
yeah.
They're hot again?
They're hot again.
Oh, really?
Okay, well, I'm going to go
Okay.
not just
Pleated.
because I'm not up to date with the fashion trends.
Like
Yeah,
a high-waisted
I'm a nut.
pleated pant. is
Yeah.
kind of
So those have
everything
come
right now.
back.
I think it's just
Coming
how
back.
it's
It's
a dressier
coming back.
look.
Okay.
It looks good. It's well dressed. People look a little more put together.
It's not like your
Like there's
Okay.
effort there.
Uncle, Hiram's pleated pants from back in the
Well,
day.
see,
You
here's
know, it's like maybe one pleat.
here's the
not
funny
7.
thing. So when we were talking about, tuxedos and what we were going to wear at our wedding, Rick was like, I want pleated pants. I'm like, don't wear pleated pants. It's going to make you look bigger than what you actually are. Like, it's just not going to be a good look. He insisted. So I actually put on Facebook, pleated pants in or out. And everybody, and this was back in 2022. So, but almost overwhelmingly people were like, no, absolutely not. No pleated pants.
Well, how long ago did you get married? That was a while
2022.
ago, right? 2022. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe the style's changed.
I think the
a little
style's
bit, yeah.
coming along again.
We're
You're
seeing
being
it in
dressier.
even some like not fashion forward brands. It adds a different kind of like fullness and silhouette to the pant.
Yeah, and speaking of, you recently went to the Chicago Collective where you bought for summer, spring 2026.
Mm-hmm.
What did you find there? Like, what trends are you seeing? Like, how did that go? How was that trip?
Well, it's a fantastic trip. I mean, Chicago in the summer is like no place
Amazing.
ever. It's chef's kiss, amazing. But the show is great. I mean, it's a really beautifully crafted and curated show. A lot of our heavy hitter brands are there.
Mm-hmm.
Trend wise, texture, I feel like overwhelmingly is still like a really big trend. Maybe it's something that's just here to stay, but in lots of different like wovens and loose knits and applique and embroidery, like lots of really fun details. I'm always like, we're kind of a sucker for a good detail. Color trends. We'll see a little bit of that today and what we're going to show you guys.
Okay.
But
Yeah, we could.
And it changes so often. I mean, we had a neon run a year ago, and now we're
Okay.
into like these earth mocha colors. This, I wouldn't say like a lavender, but it's very toned down. It's not a very bright lavender color right now. It's like you'll see it coming up like a kind of a pale pink almost, also vibe like a mauve. It's kind of like in as well.
It's funny because we're creating a new little newsletter for the shop, but Pantone's color of the year this year was called Mocha Mousse, which is a very kind of like weird, purpley kind of earth tone color. And it's wild to see how interior paint color trends and fashion all sort of coalesce around a theme and a color that stuff's projected 3 years in advance. So we're buying now for next summer, but those products were designed a year ago. So it's really wild to see trends and what's being forecasted for the future. And a lot of it is it's just so fun for us to see and hone in on, and shit we don't like, some stuff we're obsessed with, but it's really fun to see how that thread kind of connects through lots of different brands and how like some houses interpret it and more mainstream, and then there's like the kind of weird wacky stuff too.
Well, I feel like in this country we've got New York City, we've got Miami, we've got LA. So do you like, what's your opinion? Do you think the trends or the new fashions come through those cities and then filter over to us, or?
Slightly, I would say so. Yeah, I mean, for sure. But everyone talks about fashion starting in Japan or China first, and we come along years
and
after the fact.
Wow, we're that far behind.
And then the United States pulls it together, and then maybe then it trickles to us even later than that's being down here. Because our Florida style is completely different than a New York or an LA style. They're much more street, where we are more resort casual vibe.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
It doesn't speak the same language as much. But
I feel like we're always. I'm circling back in my head to that scene in Devil Wears Prada where they're picking out the blue belt. Do you guys remember that?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Cerulean.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, I feel like we're
Classic,
kind of revisiting that scene right there. As far
Is
as
there a trend that you're like, I hope it never comes back?
Gosh, I don't know, because I feel like you're proven wrong sometimes. You're like, these like, because right now there was a brand that we discovered at Collective that's a British brand, and it's all inspired by like kitchen workwear, like
interesting.
aprons and like chef pants and stuff.
Hmm.
And we've been looking at it for a little bit, and that was even a year ago. We were like, no, like absolutely not. Like,
Okay.
that's not our vibe. Or like these big baggy shorts. And like this year, it's, I don't know if it's our eyes have been, trained or like tweaked a little bit, or like they're becoming a little bit more easy to absorb. But I don't know. I feel like there's stuff that 2 years ago we would have said absolutely not, and now we're like dipping our toe in or experimenting a little bit with, and partly based on some of our younger guys that come in, they're like thrifting and putting together like a different look that we get inspired by that too.
right.
I was gonna say they're probably more or less referring to like in this situation, like way oversized, big baggy pants like that aren't fitted, or even like material wise isn't soft. Like it just feels like a nice, like a big denim pant, and that, I would have said like way no, like on that a couple years ago. But now you're seeing how people are styling it together in a look, and you get a little more inspired about and get behind it. So it's like, we kind of change our tone a little bit on some of these things. I haven't felt like I've run into too much where I'm like, I absolutely hate it, other than maybe like a plaid short.
Right.
Like a big cargo plaid short, like ew. But
I could see the three of you, so Michael and then the two of you, like having conversations, maybe around a round of drinks, like, do we pull the trigger on this? Do we not pull the trigger on this? Who makes the final decision?
Gosh,
who's paying the bills again? who runs the credit card statement at the end of the
Well, maybe me. I think we're really great. Like that brings up like a fun topic. I think we're all good editors for each other.
Okay.
Michael is like a master merchandiser, and he's able to like the way his brain works is very mechanical, but like super creative. And so like the way the store looks in general is like mostly Michael. I'm a really great editor for him to come in and like final touches or moving some stuff around or adding a layer. Jordan's a great editor in terms of like just maybe make it cooler, or what about this, or thinking about that. So it's really fun as a team to kind of approach the stuff. And I don't know. We don't have that many tiebreakers. I feel like for
three people makes it easy though. 2 versus 1 or whatnot. Like
Right.
that sways the vote. And
At least
then
you
that's
don't
what
have
go with.
4.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Or 2.
So that way you don't fall in the middle ever. That's
Right.
why.
That is good.
That's true. We're good. I think our aesthetics are all pretty similar, or we can kind of like argue it out a little bit.
Yeah, if someone feels really passionate about something, we want to try something new, and like we say, let's do it. Like, because Atlas is a shop that pushes the boundaries of what
Right.
normal fashion is. And if we don't want to find ourselves also being too conservative with like trying something new, because that's what we ask our customers to do too.
Right. Or bored.
Yeah.
I think the creative people, you get bored easily. And so you want to mix it up a little bit.
I would expect that you probably maybe get something in, you're on the fence about it. It probably sells out right away. And then vice versa, where you think that something's going to be super hot and it just sits on the shelf for longer than you
It's
think.
like sale rack.
Yeah, rack. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
right.
And that is, the nature of the business. It is really kind of hard to ever nail that down because it's this sort of ever fluid, changing sort of thing, and stuff that was always like a solid, successful, like that's always going to sell. Like we find it kind of like sitting, quiet for a little bit, or not getting the attention that it used to get. So, which is good for us. It lights a fire under us to kind of keep it
discover
fresh
something.
and keep looking for new things. That's what is going to that show is really inspiring because it's
Yeah, it sounds really great.
good, solid standbys, but
Right. And I would
stuff.
say, and I'll just go out on a ledge here, and I'm never controversial, that I'm sure your clientele keep you on your toes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm
We
sure
have
you're
some
getting
fashionistas.
Yeah, fashionistas for sure. One thing I do want to make sure that we definitely talk about, and Tony, I'm going to like kind of hand this back to you, is the importance of shopping local and supporting LGBTQ plus businesses. So that's another reason I love so much shopping at Atlas, because you're supporting the local community. So I know you do some events at the store and things like that. Let's talk a little bit about why that's so important.
Especially in our Tampa Bay regional economy, the summertime is like very, very slow, and this one is no exception. But in general, there's a difference between sort of shopping small and shopping local. There, for us, like a brick and mortar store that's open 365 days a year, we have staff, but spending that money in the local economy is huge because 67 cents of every dollar spent locally stays in our community versus ordering online or buying from a big corporate retailer where they're not paying taxes here. It doesn't stay in the community. So it's just important. And I feel like it lets the better we do, the more money we can donate. We raise over $1,000 for the Trevor Project at our Pride events this year. We support Equality Florida during all the crazy drag ban. Like we never shied away from having drag queens at our events. Raise money for the ACLU, Drag Defense Fund. So I feel like supporting your local retailers, especially gay-owned businesses, lets us help the community and reinvest that money back locally to support causes and education, and and it just feels good.
Yeah,
it makes
for
you feel
sure.
better. It makes it way hotter and way cooler when you shop local.
Yeah, it really is great supporting the local businesses, but it's really frustrating when you're dealing with situations like shoplifting and things like that. Do you guys ever experience that in your store?
Yes. I mean, it's not a
tiny
huge problem, but I think because like we're so, we're there at the store all the time, like hands-on, that it's hard to not take it personal.
Right.
Let me tell you one quick little story.
Yeah, of
We'll
course.
We'll make it brief.
Yep.
It's kind of funny. It's maybe a little controversial, but two guys came in, a gay couple, on June 1st, the first, day of Pride Month. And we noticed a couple of weird moves, some hangers and spots that weren't supposed to be there. Rolled the footage back, looked at the security camera, and realized that one of the guys had stolen from us.
Wow.
And we did our due diligence to try to track them down a little bit. And we had talked about bringing some more Pride merchandise out and thought, okay, they came on a Sunday. Maybe they'll come back next Sunday and we'll have a conversation. As uncomfortable as that may be. Because they were somewhat known customers, which is the weird thing. The following Sunday, Jordan and I were working at the Hollander. We were co-sponsored their Pride pool party. And the guy shows up wearing what he stole from Atlas to our co-sponsored pool party. Pretty audacious, to say the least. And
I mean, he knew we were going to be there.
I mean,
we told him.
It was just bizarre behavior. So Jordan and I were like, didn't know what to do. But we're like, well, we made up some scenarios. Like, if this happens, we'll do this. This happens. But we were also busy as shit. It was a really successful, fun day. We're like, we're not going to let that like rain in our parade, but also like literally the audacity of this.
Unbelievable.
So they saw us, noticed them, and then they just dipped because we're like, okay, slow down. Like I'm gonna like scan the pool, see what's happening, and then they were gone. But it got us so fired up though, because it's just so. So I you stole from us, and then you're gonna show up wearing what you stole, like, and no consequences. So I've been known to get a little sassy and saucy on our Instagram. So I put pictures of them from our security camera.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Out there. reached out to some fellow gay business owners, be like, hey, do you recognize these guys? We're trying to track them down, and with no luck. And so we put him on blast on social media, and someone must have tipped them off because he created a seemingly like new account on Instagram to message the shop.
Oh.
And this lengthy, I mean, there was like way too many direct messages, being on mushrooms, all these crazy, this whole crazy scenario. Needless to say, we did get our money back.
Oh, that's great.
We forced him to pay for the product that we know that he took.
Right.
But I don't know. It kind of forced our hand to do something. Like you can't just let it go.
A little public embarrassment goes a long way amongst the community.
Wow.
And our community is small
Yeah.
enough to, it's like, people know you're going to get shamed for it. And so, and that's a shameful thing to do. Again, we're a small business that provides something unique to the community, and taken from us is only going to hurt the community in a whole.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And it just, it's hard not to take it personal. It's part of the price of doing business. You expect that something's going to happen. But if you're a gay, like, don't see off other gay-owned businesses, especially during Pride Month, because it's the ultimate fucked around and found out.
Yeah. And then go to an event
and then
that you're at.
Yeah, that's what
Oh
happens.
my goodness. Well, I'm
Gave them
really
a nice wave, and they just like,
glad that you got your
And
money
it's part of
back.
also like, just don't do that. You know, those
Yeah.
little public shaming. It takes a toll, because like for us, especially Michael, it really like sends him spinning, and it's just like, it just is not fair to do that. You know,
Right.
it's not right.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you had a victorious end to this story.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. I'm sorry you had to expend all that energy. I'm sure it was annoying.
Well, it's a little satisfying. I'm not gonna lie.
There you go.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I think this would be a great time. We'll take a quick pause here in the studio, and we'll take a look at some wares from Jordan in just a minute.
Yeah,
Yay.
good.
Let's do it.
We are back. Tony, over to you. Let's take a look at Jordan's first fit.
Well, we talked a little bit about the color, trends that we saw forecasted at Collective, and this has been something that's been going on like strong this year as well. So, Scotch and Soda is one of our favorite brands. They always provide some definitely some of the weirder stuff that we sell, but that purple and brown combination is so strange, but it works. As we were saying, off camera too, I think these colors work for definitely a hot.
Yeah, for sure.
For like pale, like lighter complected guys, so guys, like darker skin guys, it's like a really transitional color. And then the pants are from Alex Crane. It's probably one of our very first brands we picked up for Atlas.
Love those.
Everything they do is linen. They do a long sleeve, a short sleeve button up, shorts, pants, drawstring waist. But this is a new color for them called Rosé, and literally Rosé all day for us anyway. But it's such a color that works on everybody.
Love it.
We love this combo.
Yeah.
These next two shirts are from a brand called OAS that's based in Stockholm, Sweden. But this is a viscose fabric that is like the perfect fabric and lightness for our climate. Always feels cool to the touch. Nice flowy fabric. It fits lots of guys. Good tall guy shirt too. And then they do these great waffle textures that it looks heavy, but it's actually surprisingly lightweight. Wear that unbuttoned over a tank top or something. Gives it a
Yeah,
little
that texture's
and like just
amazing.
goes with so many things. But
Yeah, I love that.
those colors are so versatile. It's one of those things you hold up to your closet. You're like, oh, this works with like 10 different things I already own.
Right.
And then sort of back on that brown, a trend, espresso martinis. It's actually a really cool cabana set we've got coming out in November.
okay,
That's all
cool.
espresso martini themed. But textured and knit vest, kind of an odd piece. You could layer, wear that just by itself, or like over like a big baggy white t-shirt or something.
That is
with
really
jeans.
hot.
It'd be really
Love
cool.
that.
Yeah.
And then just classy little t-shirt, but it's a really fun way to like add a little something weird to your wardrobe without like, going too crazy. This is kind of going back to some of like the new silhouettes too that we're really embracing. So like bigger, boxier, oversized shirt that's sort of purposeful versus like I'm just gonna put a shirt on that's like 2 sizes big. It's the right size. It's just a different silhouette. This is a newer brand for us called Leisure Lab. It's a gay-owned brand. It's all made in Los
nice.
Angeles. 2 super nice guys. One actually has a connection to Florida, which is kind of cool. We're gonna have them come and do a little trunk show.
Oh, fun.
fashion event
Oh,
with
nice.
us for
That's
fall.
great. Okay.
But it's a way like it's a white shirt and a pair of jeans. Also Scotch and Soda, new little like wash from them. It's a way of like transforming something that could be kind of basic and utilitarian to make it a little bit more fashion forward because the scale is a little bit different.
Yeah, I love the jeans and the detail on the jeans. It's like just a little bit distressed. So that was going to be one of our questions earlier, was hot or not with distressed jeans. So
Oh.
yeah. So love it.
It's almost like patchwork. They just like did like different little sections, like the dye different.
Yeah, I'm thinking, thank God I'm shopping with you guys or I'd be so out of date.
So this is the third outfit that we chose to show today. We're kind of known for our cabana sets, and we wanted to do something that's a little more sophisticated versus like the crazy like pool party one. But
Right.
this, we always encourage guys, like if you're gonna choose it, just get both pieces because you have it for like that party or vacation cruise, and then you have two separate pieces to wear with everything else in your closet. At least you have that one outfit to like puts together that gives a total vibe. This is something you can also just like wear unbuttoned over a tank top or a t-shirt too, if you don't feel like the whole kind of uniform look is your vibe. But I think there's a way to kind of dress it up, dress it down. But we love this. This is a Marine Layer too, which is like our probably most well-known brand and by far our fastest selling.
Yeah, I love that
we carry.
stitch detail on the front. It's
Yeah.
just really, really, really sophisticated and really makes it pop. I love it.
Yeah, it's a good one. So for the last outfit we chose, this is our longest running brand we've had at the shop, Tory Richard. The shirt is just a classic palm print. The best thing about this, though, they call it trade wind technology. It's 4-way stretch. It's really lightweight material. It's got sunscreen protection built into it.
that's
Which is
amazing.
really
Wow.
cool. So it's like a tech fabric as well. But
Yeah.
for guys that suck at doing the laundry, this is like the easiest shirt to launder because it almost comes out dry.
Wow.
Hang it on a hanger after you wash it and you're good to go. Don't have to iron or steam. It's a great travel shirt. But literally the most perfect thing for our swampy climate here.
Yeah.
And then Rondorf, the shorts that Jordan's wearing are from a brand called Rondorf. It's a French-Swedish brand. Really, probably one of the sexier like fashion brands that we carry. It fits really nice, beautifully made shorts. Very resort vibes for us. But
Yeah, I love the
love
button
those.
detail on
Yeah.
the front.
That
That
little-
is sharp.
that little grommet is their signature detail.
Oh,
You'll find that
okay.
on everything that
Oh,
they do.
is it? Interesting. Okay.
really, really
yeah,
cool.
I love it. Tony and Jordan, it's been an absolute pleasure having you guys on the show today. Before we wrap up, go ahead and tell folks, maybe Tony at the store, what's coming up and how they can find you.
We've got some fun events coming up for the holidays. Small business, Black Friday, Small Business Saturdays, the weekend after Thanksgiving, which are huge times. We have some trunk shows scheduled, some holiday events as well. So follow us on Instagram, Atlas Body and Home. That's the easiest way to find out about any events or new products that we've got going on. You can sign up for our rewards program and sign up for our quarterly newsletter as well.
Excellent. And do you want to throw out your brick and mortar address?
919 Central Avenue, right in the Edge District.
Awesome. And then Jordan, what about you? How can folks find you online?
I'm mostly on Instagram, so just Jordan Dino. That's it. That's just my name. You'll find me. I should pop up, and yeah, you can always reach out to me if you need anything, fashion advice, fitness advice, whatever, you know.
Nice. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the show.
you.
It was a
Yes,
pleasure.
Thank you guys so much for having us.
Paul, any final words from you?
If you'd like to be a guest on the Skittle Squad podcast or you'd like to be a sponsor of the show, you can reach us at contact@theskittlesquad.com.
As always, we thank you for watching. Please subscribe on YouTube, listen, follow us on all of our socials, and we will see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.